Welcome back. This is Espresso, your feel-good breakfast show. Now, the whole morning we've been talking about it. Earlier, we just started discussing it literally, but office romances. And of course, the one thing that's on everyone's lips, South Africa has been abuzz with the case of Zwelinzima Vavi and his affair with a married co-worker. But with us, Dr. Eve, to discuss not just that topic, but the fact that we opened it up earlier, Dr. Eve. First of all, welcome to the show.
So nice to be with you.
But we opened it up earlier. Office romances, you're in a position where you're working with someone 12 hours a day. Leigh-anne mentioned, you know, it's a type of hotness that's around because it's the only people sometimes that you get exposed to. Office romances in general, is it a yes or a big no?
It's changing, actually, Ilana.
Yeah.
Office romances have to happen. That's where intimacy, they are the breeding ground of intimacy because you have certain factors present, namely commonality and frequency, as you say, a lot of time together, and a sense of familiarity. So you believe that this is a person that you have so much in common with because you share the same values, because you love the same work. So there's always a lot to talk about. Also, you're getting dressed up every morning to go to work, so you're feeling good about the way that you look. And that in itself leads to admiration. And then you have all this time together. So you really do get to be very intimate inadvertently. And then it's very easy for the sense of camaraderie and collegial just friendship to go further and further. There is also something which happens in every single office, which is called, and I'm not going to say it on breakfast TV, it's called a kind of a sex factor. It sits there and it simmers, and then you have these office parties, and then you have alcohol thrown into it, and suddenly you have what was simmering coming out alive. And that can lead to real big difficulties because of the power inequity. I really don't want to focus on the Vavi situation because we really don't know exactly what happened. But there's always going to be a power dynamic between people who are working.
Now, I look at this, and I mean, I know you as someone who's known people's behaviors, especially when it comes to sexology itself. When we look at office romances, are they successfully, generally?
Are they successful?
Yeah.
They are sometimes, and they are not other times. If it's an affair, then they have less chance of working. So if somebody is involved already or is married, is attached and hooked up with somebody, and then they have an office affair, the chances of that romance generally are more challenging. So it is fair to say that that's based on research. But of course it's going to happen that you get together. That's where you're meeting people. People who leave school, leave university, and then get into a work situation. That's their best chance of actually meeting up with a partner.
Now, I look at this and I think that, you know, in South Africa, we don't commonly hear it, but there's so many international relationships that started out like this. Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky, remember that one?
Yeah.
Or even Barack and Michelle Obama, they worked in the same environment, and Michelle actually declined him at first. She was like, you know what, we're not going to be working together and doing this. If we think of relationships and office affairs, call it that, should we stay away from it? Should you maybe pursue a different job? What is your advice if you fall in love with someone in the workspace?
I would say move jobs, get into different work environments because it's not healthy for your relationship. I think it's an ideal place to meet people if you can work at the power dynamics of it, if you kind of get the rules right, but then you want to move out because it's not good for your relationship. It's no good being together 24/7 and they going home with each other, working together. You kind of lose that interest factor in each other. You lose the fascination with each other. You have to be an individual still in your own world. But there's a change that's happening in office romances, which we're going to be seeing more and more of. And that's the fact that office romances are happening online. No longer is it the secretary on the boss's lap where the romance is happening. It's more online, where people are meeting. So you're sitting at your computer, you're sitting on your iPad or on your phone, and you're actually having a romance with somebody else, because that's what cyber flirting is all about. It's all gone online. And we have more and more research which is showing that's where cheating is happening. It's no longer the threat in the office. It's more the threat that's happening online. Yeah.
I love how Dr. Eve can say it with a smile because it's all romance and people fall in love all the time. Office romances, good or bad?
I think that they're inevitable. They're inevitable, but they have to be really discussed. They really have to be worked out for them not to impact on the organization in a negative way. But organizations shouldn't be naive about it either, Ilana. This is what they breed. This is what happens. So make it good. Facilitate the process of it. Be sensible. Be adult about it.
Okay. Well, the song says just fall in love. And one thing that I fall in love with is South African movies. This time around, Jimmy Bester finds himself literally in a situation where he goes from Millie Boer to a reality show. But his life is about to change.